Everyone, they cut us off because of our music, so now we're gonna be musicless, but it's okay. Copyright issues, y'all. We're just waiting for Maria. Usually we would have music, but Instagram doesn't want us to be great, so they copyrighted us with the music in the background, but that's fine because we're still gonna have this show on the road. Hey Maria, just waiting for her to join and then we can get started. All right, here we go, y'all. Maria, I accepted your request, so you should be able to get back on now. Technical difficulties, y'all. Just waiting for Maria, and then we can get started. Hello.
I guess today is a day, isn't it?
It is a day. Instagram said we can't use Beyonce in our background, so
Okay. That's all right. We still gonna be fabulous.
yeah,
Show
it's
must go
okay.
on.
All right, so we're just gonna get started. We're not even gonna waste no more time. It's been 10 minutes, y'all. So sorry about that.
Okay.
But hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Embrace Her Legacy live show with myself, Isis, and our founder and CEO, Maria Melendez. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a juicy topic, a personal topic that I need a little bit of help with. How do you learn how to date? I know it could be hard for a lot of us out here. You know, COVID restrictions are lifted, so we're going out on dates, but how do we do it in a healthy way, in an effective way? So we got the tea, and we're going to spill it. So, as always, this is a donation opportunity, so you can text Embrace the 844-701-5181. You can hit the donate button in our bio, and you can visit our link tree in our bio as well. And without further ado, oh, Maria froze, y'all. Hold on, Instagram does not want us to be great today. Are you still there? Oh. I think she had to rejoin. Yo, Instagram is acting so cute today. Instagram is acting so cute today.
I don't know. We gonna bond it in the name of Jesus Christ because I don't got time.
Right. But like I said, if you want to donate, you can text Embrace the 844-701-5181. You can visit our link tree in our bio, and you can also hit the donate button in our Instagram bio as well. Let's not even waste any more time.
Not
even. All right. So how are you doing tonight?
It's life is life in us, but I'm here.
Right. We're here.
We here. I know both of us. You don't even know what the second half of my day was. I know you still haven't told me today. But so I guess you know what? Somebody needs to hear this live. That's all I'm saying.
Right. So we here. So how do I date? The first question. Like, how do I date?
Let me give the audience a little bit of context and what goes on behind our like IG live ideas and things like that. I wanted us to specifically, Isis is our social media manager coordinator. She's the one behind all of our social media. People still think I run social media. I'm like, how? How would I? But anyway, and one of the things that you had said was, I actually come up with topics, and I was like, what are you and your friends talking about? And you were like, there's noise in the background, Isis. What's that?
It's like feedback?
It's like, there you go. Better. So, and one of the things that you said was, how do I learn to date? Me and my friends are talking about like dating. So that's how this topic came up, and you were like, I want to know. And you asked questions about like meeting guys, y'all generation, I mean, a lot of people on Instagram, and, should I be dating more than one people? I said, girl, we need to talk about it, because if you have questions, I'm sure other people have questions as well. So let's jump right in.
Let's jump right in. So, my first question is, what does the term dating mean to you?
I mean, I know this term because a lot of people be like, we dated, and it's like, did we really? We kicked it once or two times. Like, that was not dating.
Nothing
Like,
more.
I did not date you, sir. Pipe down, right? But I think, like, for me, it means spending intentional quality time with someone. Am I back? Okay. Over a period of time, right? So it's like, again, it's not that 1-2 hookup or we went on one date. I think it's over a period of time, spending intentional quality time with someone with the intent of getting them to know them better in a romantic way so that you can eventually pursue a romantic relationship. That's what I consider dating. And I know we'll get into more dating more than one person, all that, but that's what it is. It's like if I hung out with you one time and we went on one date, my man, we did not date. We just hung out. What do
That
you
was a
think
little
about it?
hangout session.
Exactly.
What do I think the term dating is? At first, honestly, I thought dating was being in a relationship, just like younger generation. I didn't know any better. I'm like, oh, if we're dating, we're together. So now, when I think about dating, it's more of like a.
What's happening, Isis?
Oh,
Now you're
hello.
back. Yeah, you're
Okay,
back.
sorry. But yeah, when I think about it now, it's more of like a getting to know each other better so that we can be something later in more of a serious relationship. But dating, I just feel like, going out to have fun, nothing too serious. For me, maybe it's because I'm younger, but like wouldn't want to go on like an expensive dinner date. I feel like I want to do like soft, regular stuff, and then as we get deeper into a connection, then we can like start spending a little bit more money. And then that's pretty much what dating is to me.
Good, good. And I think too, for my generation, we grew up saying like, me and you talk. Like, I think like there's a lot of vernacular behind this about dating, right? So for me and my generation, we're like, oh yeah, me and that person talk was synonymous with saying me and that person are dating. But I think like right nowadays, you just have to be clear on what dating is. It's like I said, people hang out with one time and think we dated. And sometimes, like you said, sometimes dating people say we're in a relationship. So what that means for everyone is kind of like coming back and forth. And you went out again, but I think you're coming back, Isis. What's going on? Are you there? You gotta be.
Oh my god, I
Okay.
feel like a grandma like it. Like, okay, there you go.
Okay. What's happening that keeps happening?
I don't know if it's my AirPods or something, but there we go. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So we were talking about the term dating. So let's move on.
So my next question is, how do you date in a healthy way? Because I feel like going back to what I was saying before, I thought dating was being in a relationship. So now it's like, what expectations should I have? What type of boundaries do I need to be setting? So do you date in a healthy way?
I think first, like, you have to be like, in order to date in a healthy way, to answer your question, is first you have to be aware of yourself and have self awareness. I think dating in a healthy way starts with you, right? Having self respect, having self confidence, and self love. Like, if you don't have your healthy dating with you, like, if you're not in a healthy relationship with yourself, how can you be in healthy dating relationships with other people? So I think that's the first thing, is dating in a healthy way, is to first date yourself. Like, not necessarily just date yourself, but know yourself and be in a good space in yourself, right? And know what you want. Again, dating in a healthy way comes back to you a lot. Know what you want, your non-negotiables, but also be open to being realistic. Know what you're asking for, know what your boundaries are. If someone possesses a certain quality, make sure you exemplify that as well. So what I mean is, like, if you want to exemplify healthy dating and you tell me that you want someone who is making a certain amount of money. It's like, sis, I'm gonna need you to be in that similar tax bracket too, right? So that's what I mean, like attractive, becoming the person you want to be so you can attract the person you want to see in your life. And then also dating healthy also for me means having integrity, being honest but not disrespectful about what you want and what you can give, right? Having integrity with it, dating. So if you know that you're not ready for a relationship and that person clearly is, communicate that. Like, don't lead that person on. Don't try to just keep them around in the corner for your own pleasure. No, you're being selfish, right? Don't make the new person for pray play. Don't make the new person pay for the previous person's sins. Meaning, like, if somebody hurt you in your past, you have to make sure you've healed from that and let the new people show up in your life and be new. You know, like, it's not fair if I went through a heartbreak of someone cheating on me, or I don't know, whatever, and now I bring that into the new relationship. So when the new person's in front of me, I'm like, oh, you gonna do me so wrong like Tommy did. It's like, don't put Tommy stuff.
Like, I'm not Tommy.
You understand? I'm not Tommy. So I think you have to let people show you who they are and give them room to be that. You understand what I'm saying? And like I said, be honest with yourself and what you need, and communicating and dating. I think, like, a lot of times, especially as women, we fear losing the relationship, so we're not honest with ourselves about what we need. Like, sis, he then showed you the signs, right? So is that something, is he able to give you what you need? And again, that comes back with self-awareness. What do I want? Where am I in my life? And I'm just not out here dating willy-nilly. And that's how I feel about dating in a healthy way. Those are my sum ups. What about you?
For me, dating in a healthy way, I feel like I need to set boundaries in the sense of, like, what is off limits? Are you going to be talking to other people? Which is most likely yes. Like, are we going to be, what type of dates are we going to be going on? Like, are we going to be intimate? Yes or no? Like, how are we going to go about that? That's fun. I feel like setting boundaries, whatever they may be, as they change, blase, need to be set in stone early on. That's the problem that I have. I feel like I don't set the boundaries and then it gets misconstrued along the lines. So that's important. Dating in a healthy way, just getting to know each other without feeling like you're committed. Like, oh, we're gonna get married. Like, we're boyfriend and girlfriend and that's it. Like, no. I feel like a lot of people just make it so heavy when it doesn't have to be that. It's supposed to be lighthearted, just getting to know each other. Even if you don't end up dating, maybe you guys can be friends because that's the foundation that you guys are supposed to be building. And I agree with you. You cannot try to pour into someone if your cup is empty. So you need to work on yourself, do that self-work before you can really say, I know what I want. I know what I'm searching for in a partner. Let me go out and find it. So I feel like that's important too, doing the self-work first before even going out to try and date. So that would be like my dating in a healthy way.
And also, too, don't be afraid to explore in your dating. Like, for me, there was a point in my time, like, in my life, where I was dating people who I knew I wasn't going to marry. You know, this is up until last year. I was dating, and I'll be very honest, like, I dated an atheist, 25-year-old atheist. I knew he wasn't the one, because I know my faith is not.
You are so into God.
I know, right? I know, exactly. But I knew I wanted just the experience. I'm like, hey, let me see what. And not while he was an atheist, he respected my beliefs, right? And he would ask questions. He wasn't like, I don't believe in God. Honestly, to him, I feel like he was more agnostic. But he was so much younger. He'll probably see this live because I know he still follows me on social media. But I knew he wasn't the one. But I knew I was in a point in my life when I wanted to experience dating different type of people so I could learn what I want. And all those guys that I dated and hung out and kicked with during that time, they all showed me something. I was like, well, I like your persistence. I like that you're intelligent. I don't like that, you don't communicate well. So it was a time for me to get to know what I like in dating. So Isis, you made such a good point that there's so much pressure, but is this person the one? No, it may not be, but take that experience that person is giving to you, because they're coming with an amazing experience, you know. So oftentimes, sometimes it's not about.
I agree with you 100% for sure. So you're talking about how you've tried dating different types of people, but do you think there's a such thing as dating too many people?
Yeah. Like there's only 24 hours in a day. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, maybe for men it might be different. And even that, I'm like, man, y'all gotta have money to date all those type of different women. Cause that's a date. You know, if you date, you know, if you have a date with a different woman every day, that's 7 days a week. And imagine the average date is gonna run you like $100. It's $700 a week. Like, bro,
That's
you got
somebody's
that much.
check.
Okay, you got that much money to. So I think one is but so many this but there's but so much of an amount of quality time that you can give to other people while still maintaining your day-to-day regular responsibilities of work, of challenges or anything like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so I feel like, yeah, you can date too many people. I don't have time to date 10 people, right? But I do think it is very important and very okay to date multiple people. I think until we have that exclusive conversation, I'm allowed to do my thing and you're allowed to do your things. No, we can't see you. What about you? Is there such thing as dating too many people?
For me personally, I have the attention span of a goldfish, y'all. So I feel like three would be enough for me, and even that sometimes feels like it's too much, only because I like to get to know people in a deeper way. Like, I really want to know a lot about you because I want to, start with the foundation of friendship and then work our way up from there, because I feel like dating should start with friendship, just because, hey, if we don't end up working out, like, I made a friend, cool. But I feel like I have homegirls that have like going out on like a bunch of dates in a 7 day week. Like, she's going on at least like, I know one just going on like 4 dates in one day, just because like she was talking to so many people. And I was like, girl, like, how do you even make all that time? Like, how do you make sure you texting the right one back and X, Y, and Z? I'm just like, that's a full-time job. So for me, I feel like there is a such thing as dating too many people, because your energy is precious, and I'm very big on
Yeah.
that. And you yourself is precious, so I feel like you need
Yeah.
to be selective with who you're getting to know too, and that's something that is very big for me. So I feel
Yeah.
like for me personally, three's like my max. But hey, homegirl, do you? If you can handle talking to 10 people, if you can handle talking to 2 people, do you? But as long as your boundaries are set, you feel like your feelings aren't getting hurt, and you're
Yeah.
being respected, do you, girl?
And I have to wonder sometimes, like, what are you chasing with dating so many people? Like, and I'm like, y'all not tired? Like, 'cause I'm tired. You know, like you said, my energy is sacred, and I have goals and things that require my energy. Like, if I'm dating 7, 8 different people, that means all the energy that I should be focused on, me building my legacy and things that I want to do, you're taking from that for me. You know, that's important to Maria Irene Melendez, you know? So I think for some people, they're okay. Like, I don't have the capacity. I never have. When I was 21, you know, my only concern was passing my MQ, my statistics class and being in Hofstra University. Cool. But now as I'm older, I'm like, I don't have time to date Tom, Dick, and Harry. Like, I don't. I don't.
Right, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you're dating so many people, you're doing it either for some sort of validation or to fill some sort of void. But that's
Mm-hmm.
just me. So, like, my follow-up question for that would be, have you ever dated anybody to fill a void, or because you miss your ex, or because you want that validation, anything of the sort?
No. So to give people context, I didn't have time because my 20s, I was in a relationship, my whole 20s, right? So people know, I was in a committed relationship. Well, I was committed, he wasn't. So I was in a committed relationship, and that was the only time in my life that I was in a real deal. You know, prior to that, I had my relationship. That was a real deal relationship. So when I got out of that, I was old enough to know, again, like I said at the beginning, I didn't want to make the next man pay for the previous man's sins. So I was like, you got to do the work and you got to heal. I'm not going to be out here just to date, to fill a void, because I'm missing somebody. You still feel empty. You understand what I'm saying? Like anytime, it's not gonna make you, it's a temporary satisfaction. Okay, so tomorrow you still gonna feel sad. So might as well do the work. And no, I don't agree with dating to fill voids, or dating out of boredom. I remember during the pandemic, I remember I heard Devon Franklin say this, like, don't date people right now just because you're home and you have nothing to do, right? And a lot of times we date people out of boredom too. So I think you just know to fill a void, to miss your ex. No, I don't think that's smart. No, if you miss them, it's okay to miss people. And because we're uncomfortable with hurt and missing people, we want to do something to fix it. And it's like, you know what? You just gonna have to sit there and hurt and heal and mend, and let the healing process take its course. What do you think?
For me, I have a personal story. I got cheated on when I was in high school with like my long term boyfriend. Like that was my first boyfriend, first long term relationship. It was like 2 years long, and we broke up because he cheated. And then after that, like I've only ever been with him, so like he was all that I knew. So I was like, I want to get to know people. So I was like bugging out, like going on dates, talking to a bunch of people, and it was because like I missed the idea of a companion, not necessarily him, but like I just missed that idea. And after a while, I was like, yo, like I don't even know how to be ISIS by myself. Like I don't even know who ISIS is without a boyfriend or without somebody there. So I'm like, how am I going to figure that out? So then it became like, oh, like this is unhealthy for me because I don't even know who I am. I don't know what I'm doing. So then I had to stop talking to them. I went on like a dating cleanse. I didn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And I did like that self work. So I feel like dating to fill a void or because you miss someone, I feel like you miss them and then you might end up losing yourself in the process. Like, and I feel like that's something that you don't want to do. So I would advise against it.
It is. And it's wise. And it's uncomfortable, but it's the better thing to do, to just sit here, walk through that process, and, not date people out of missing people. And I love how you said missing the companion, right? It's hard. Let me be honest. Breakups are not easy, especially when you're used to someone being in there, filling up your free time, your weekends, your evenings, and not having that person there. You have to mourn that. So I think it's important to surrender to that healing process.
And if you want to learn more about that, watch our TED Talk, okay?
Yes, watch my TED Talk. The link is in our Linktree bio, in our bio. It's in my bio and it's in Embrace's bio. So,
Yeah, so that talks more about that. So I feel like I was saying before with dating, you have to set boundaries. Like you need to know what you're getting yourself into before you start dating. So how do I set boundaries when I'm dating, and which ones should I be setting?
all right. So I feel like the boundary queen, if you don't follow her, her name is Stephanie, the life architect. She is an amazing Embrace Her Legacy volunteer supporter, but an all-around life coach and emotional health specialist. I think you should go follow her. It's at Stephanie, STEFIANIETLA. And I remember something she taught in our academy this previous summer to our students, was the types of boundaries. And I think it's important for you to set emotional boundaries, intellectual boundaries, spiritual boundaries, social boundaries, physical boundaries, and financial boundaries. You should know what that is for you. And so that when someone violates your boundary, you can articulate it and say, you know what? My physical boundary says, you know what, we're not going to be intimate, or I don't feel comfortable doing that because I feel like you didn't respect that. I can no longer, I feel like maybe we need to step back a little bit. Or financial boundaries, I don't feel comfortable paying. And this is something I will say later, and I'll say it again. No, not now, not now, man. We are going. It's just me and Isis at this moment. So I think it's important to date, to know those boundaries and to set them free. Again, it goes back to dating in a healthy way, knowing yourself. So I think like you have to know those boundaries first, right? You have to know what your boundaries are, and know what you're comfortable with, and explicitly communicate it if needed, right? So again, like the physical boundary. So if you know And lady, can we be real? Because I feel like people don't be real on these. If you know you do not want to cross that line of getting physical and intimate with someone, don't go to their house. Period.
Say that again. Say that one more time.
I'm going to say it again. Let me say it again for the people in the back. If you do not want to cross that line of being physical and intimate with someone, then it may be best for you not to go to that person's house or have that person come to your house, right? Because when you go to that person's house, and I'm talking about dating heterosexual relationships like man, woman, right? But if you go to a man's house, especially after a certain time, especially if y'all have been consuming alcohol, you must be very naive to believe that that man is not in the back of his mind has like, damn, it's on his back of his mind, point blank, period, right? Whether he verbalizes it, whether he articulates it, his back of his mind. And if he tries to make a pass at you, and then you feel uncomfortable, it's like, girl, like, you understand what I'm saying? Maybe, and I'm not, and let me say, because girl, nowadays you have to put an asterisk next to anything. I am not saying that someone has the right to touch you, offend you, or to physically harm you, abuse you sexually, physically, in any way. Let me say that again, right? I am not saying that someone has the right to do anything to you. Exactly. No's, rules, no should be no, period, right? Now, I'm talking about from experience, what Maria's saying, Maria, if I go to your house and now you're bothering me every 5 minutes and you're kissing on me and I'm like, get off of me. For Maria, I say, next time I'm just not going to come over because I didn't want to cross that physical boundary line. You're going to be annoying. Men tend tend to push sometimes, like, you sure? You know how it is, Isis.
Like, sir. I said no. No,
It's
thank you.
like, so it's like sometimes just to avoid, like, what I call it is I don't want to have to keep doing this all night. So if I don't want to keep doing this all night, I'm just not going to put myself in a situation and I'm just not going to come over because I'm not ready to cross that line with you, right? And again, I'm not saying that gives anyone a license to touch you, to make you feel uncomfortable in any way. But like to what Van said, even honestly, can we talk? Even if those rules are established before we get there, do you know how many times as a woman I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna come over, but nothing is gonna happen? Does that stop that man from trying?
They still try, even if it's just a little bit. And you be like, boy, I said I'm not doing that when I get over here. And they still, like, you sure? Like, I said no before I got here.
And they still gonna try. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm saying, in that situation, to avoid that uncomfortable, if you don't want to deal with the get off me, then you know what? Maybe it's best that you just not go to that situation. That's all I'm saying. But again, that does not give anyone the right. If you're at somebody's house, it doesn't give them the right to abuse you or harm you in any way, to take advantage of you physically anyway. It's just as you as a woman sometimes just being like, you know what? I know what you're about to try, and I'm not in the mood to fight you off you all night. And not fight. Let me say that. Let me use another word. I'm not in the mood to constantly be rejecting you because he's like, boy, can we just watch the movie?
Yeah, and then it gets awkward, and then it's like, wow, I don't even want to be here anymore. And it just
Exactly.
goes downhill from there.
Okay, exactly. It goes downhill from there. You just like, well, let me call my Uber.
I'm texting my homegirl like, yo, can you call me and say it's an emergency?
All
Yeah.
of that, because now it's just awkward and uncomfortable, and you had to do the get off me 3 times. So it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go home. So what I've just learned from my experience now, for me, I'm not going to your house. You understand? Unless I'm comfortable with you in that space, in that environment. And let me tell you something. It is so beautiful when you do enter a man's space and he doesn't make the move. It's like. It is like,
Yes, it's just like, wow, you are different from them, huh?
it's like
Okay.
score. Yeah, so I would say that about boundaries. Also, don't sell yourself short No means no. Like I have written on my notes, no, I won't go to your house on the first date, and be okay with that. No means no. You understand? So, and another thing too, I don't know if I have my boundaries about if you want to rock with me, date with me, and my man could tell you this too, because I told him this. Hey, boo. You gotta make any dude I've dated in this IG would be like, Maria's gonna say one dude. Make sure she get home safely. And that's big for me. Like it's like if you're gonna date me, make sure I get home safely. So that's little things that I do and make sure that you know your values and intentions and all that other stuff in regards to dating and boundaries. What about you?
For me, I agree with you 100% with the I'm not coming to your house, or if I say I don't want to do this, then please respect that. So that's definitely one for me. My boundaries would be if you're going to be intimate with the other people that you're dating, let me know, because that might just get you cut off my roster, because I don't like that. I know a lot of people are okay with that. I don't like that. So that's something that's important to me. And just being honest, because I feel like if you're already lying to me early on, then it's like it's not going to get any better from there. Because if we are openly dating other people, you can let me know that. Like, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. What else? That.
Okay.
I feel like that's it.
I
For the
love
most
that. I
part.
love how you talked about that intimacy thing. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to be intimate with other people, let me know. I ask questions like that because I'm like, let me tell you something out here. First of all, for me, I think intimacy, sex, and stuff is definitely a spiritual experience. I'm like, I'm not sure you're not coming over here and bringing whatever you
Mm-hmm.
whatever you got over there. You're not coming and bringing it to my body. You understand? And we have to understand that STDs are real. Those type of things are real. So it's just like you have to practice safe measures, and I think that's important. If you're going to be intimate, for me, if you're going to be intimate with someone and have to talk, then you want to make sure that you're safe and you're protecting yourself spiritually, mentally, and physically. Because I'm like, you're not coming to me after you done slept with Tamika, Shauna, and Renee. That's
Yeah,
how
no,
I feel.
thank you. Oh, wait,
Okay.
so just to sum that up, because I feel like it got jumbled up, definitely I'm not gonna kick it with you at your place, even if it is just to chill, just because me personally, I've been in that awkward situation. I'm just like, homegirl, call me, please. So that's one thing. Being honest, not only about just like who you're intimate with besides me, but just being honest in general, because I feel like if you're already starting off lying to me, that's a bad thing. And then my third boundary would be phone calls. I feel
Ooh.
like before a date, you can text people. It's easy to text people, but like being on the phone is a lot different. It could be FaceTime, it could be phone call, but I feel like that's something that's definitely very important to me, because I feel like you get to know somebody a little bit prior to actually going on the date. So it's actually fun doing that. So yeah, those are my three little boundaries.
Oh, thank you for sharing that, sis.
So we're talking about you go to the house, you get uncomfortable, you feel like you want the date to be over. So do you have any dating horror stories?
No, to be honest, no. Like I don't. Like I've dated some great guys, and I'm really talking like my dating in my older years, in my 30s. When I was younger, I wasn't dating. Again, we didn't have avenues like this to teach us how to date, so we just kicked it. It was nothing serious. But no, all the guys I've dated have been respectable. They have gotten on my nerves, as everyone does. I've had the get off me moments, and even in the get off me moments, it was never anything disrespectful. You understand? Like they were all on me, and it's like because they feeling the kid, and I'm feeling them too. But I'm just like, get off me. So even in that, it was jokey. Me and I have good. Like if I reach out, there's no horror stories. I do have a good one, and this is with the man who reigns in my life at this present day. Besides the good Lord Jesus Christ and my daddy. So it was our first date. So we met, and our first date, I loved how he took initiative. He made the reservation. He got on the phone. He called me. One Saturday, I think we met on a Thursday, and the Saturday he's like, "Oh, when can I see you?" And I'm like, "Oh, next weekend. Just make sure it's not late." He was like, "All right, 7 o'clock, cool." He made those reservations. He brought flowers. We talking and like yes, and it was like we was vibing. And in the middle of the day, he was like, he said something. He was like, "What are you doing after this?" Because this was last May, and he was like, "What are you doing after this?" And I was just like, "Oh well, I'm going to chill with my homeboy, but I don't really want to go." He was like, "Yo, you lucky I'm letting you go tonight." And I was like, "Well, you ain't gotta let me go nowhere," because I was feeling it. And we went to the next spot. And we was talking and none of that. And this was still when there was still a lot of COVID restrictions. Hi, sissy! That's Deanne, everyone love her. So we was chilling and we went to the next spot and we kicked it again and it was till the time closed and then um there was yeah, that was probably like the best date that was like this. It set off the time that we had. And there was another thing that he did, and for me it's important for men to take initiative. Like, I need to know that I can follow your leadership because I'm a leader all day. So by the time 7 o'clock comes, I don't want to have to worry about what we eating for dinner, where we going. I want to come home and you be like, "Yo, baby, I got it." So that's what I need from a man. So he said there was one time he had annoyed me, like partners do. And I came to his house and I was on my way. Like, we had made plans to be together earlier that day. And by this time it's like 8 o'clock at night. And I'm like, and I gotta come to Harlem because he's supposed to come to Brooklyn. And I get to his house, he lives uptown, and he's like I go in the house and there's a word that he calls me. I'm not gonna say what that word, but it's something to get under my skin. So I walk in the house, he's getting under my skin, and he's like, um, he has his iPads in his hands, and he's like, "Drop your bags off, we going out." I was like, "Oh, you know what to do." He's like, "Put your bags down." He's like, "Come on, give me a kiss, love you." And he knew because he knew I was mad at him. But he's just like, "All right," and we're going out. So that was again, and he made the reservations and he led. So that's just for me. It's just really important to have a man that leads, takes over on dates and things like that.
That's so cute. I'm glad that you haven't had any really bad experiences. That's so nice.
What about you?
I've only had one bad date. Like, I've had moments like at chilling with a guy where it was like, okay, like I don't want to do that, but it wasn't like such a horrible experience that I, would say it's like a horror story. But the worst date I've ever been on was I was 19, like in college, and we just went to a diner. We just were texting, getting to know each other, cool. And we went to the diner, got, ordering our food, getting to know each other, talking. And he was asking me questions about myself. So, of course, you ask me a question, I'm going to answer them. And he would start making it about him. Like, he would start talking over me, and he would be like, I understand what he was trying to do. He was trying to relate to what I was saying, but he wasn't letting me get my thoughts out. So it was just like, if I feel like you're not taking my shine, because I don't want to call it that, but if I feel like I can't communicate, I just shut down.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it just became me listening to him talk. So the entire day, it was just like, okay, like I'm gonna try to talk now, and then he's like, yeah, because da da da, and I'm just like, like I'm
I'm
talking.
over
So it's
it.
like, if you're not giving me the space to talk, then it's just like, ciao, I'm waiting for the
Yeah.
bell. So yeah, that was like my worst date, because I feel like I got to know him great, but I feel like he didn't get to know
Get to know
me, and it wasn't equal. I just felt like it was his show, and I was just watching it. So yeah, but good dates, got one good date. It was,
one.
well, all right, not one, but I'm saying like this is the one I want to speak about because it was the one that wowed me the most. We're not being younger, just going to the park, going to the movies, basic stuff. But this guy showed up to my house. He drove there and showed up to my house with flowers, and we went to a nice dinner. He picked the place. Like, I didn't have to do anything except have my clothes on at 8 o'clock, ready downstairs to go. So that was nice. I've never had a guy like take the initiative to plan something out for me. So once I did have that, I was like, oh, the men in the future need to be doing that, because if it's not that, I don't want it. So now I guess you could say that's a boundary, that I want somebody that does take the lead. So yeah, that's it. That was, that little horror story wasn't too bad. Some people just like to talk about themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. love how you say that. I love how you say you learn, and I didn't know. I remember even, I'm not gonna tell, because even if I say his name, even if guy, even if I remember on our second date, it's noisy in the background, Isis. It's noise.
Sorry.
Okay. I remember even on our second date, I remember this was after the first date. On our second date, he did something where he dropped me off and he wanted to walk me to my building. And I was like, nah, don't worry about it. Like, it's late, blah, blah, blah. And you got to go all the way back uptown. So I get a phone call. I think I spoke about this before in our podcast. I get a phone call 5 minutes after I leave. And I'm thinking, he's like, yeah, ooh, I like you. And he's like, yo, why ain't let me walk you to your building? And I'm like, because I was like, it's 1:00 in the morning. You got to go all the way uptown. I was being courteous. He was like, yo, I don't know what other dudes you used to deal with, but when you with me, I'm going to make sure you get home safely, Maria. You need to let me be a man and let me. I was like, what? Okay. You better go here. I said, all right. But see, I didn't know, like here I am at my big old age and I didn't know any better because no one teaches us like that. So that's important for me. As you know, you be like, all right, I like this. I like a man where I feel protected, that I feel like he can lead, he can make the reservations, all that other stuff and take charge.
100%, I agree with you, and that's so nice. Like, you had some good dating experiences. Like, okay.
Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna do some digging around and see if I can hook you up.
Thank you. It's been a little bit too long. All right, y'all. This is the last question. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. So, my last question is: what are 5 of your top dating tips? Share with the people. We need to hear from homegirl.
Number one, have fun and enjoy it. Like we said at the beginning, not everybody's your husband, girl. Like, just enjoy it, have fun. Everybody comes with experience. Be open to the experience. For me, and I think this is something that a lot of young women should know, it's for you want to see if the other person can have that accountability that leads. For me, it's like setting up the date, being proactive. You know what? In other words, what I'm saying, like, be okay with letting someone else lead. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to let your guard down and let that person show up and be that person. You don't have to,
Like, micromanage everything. Like, you can let loose.
Like if he was right. He should make sure I got to my door safely. But here I am, like, so it's just like sometimes you gotta be okay with letting other people do for you and be kind to you and lead and all that other stuff, right? It doesn't mean you're less of a woman because you're letting someone else take lead and run point on certain things. So for me, I'm old school. I don't believe, for me, my top dating tip is like, I'm not coming out my pocket on that first 3 dates. Like, them first couple of dates, I'm old school. I feel like a man should be courting me. You know what I mean? I'm not saying post that we can't go Dutch. I'm not hooking you up. I'm not taking care. You understand? I'm not paying for dates. That's not what I'm saying, because once you've gotten me, of course, moving forward, yeah, like I said, I'll pay, we'll go, whatever, right? But them first couple of days, I need you to be a man. So for me, it's important to a man. For me, I need to know that you can provide and protect. So I need you to pay them first couple of dates. First, I need you to take care of the bill and make sure I get home safely. Again, important for me. Dating tip that you can protect. I need to see if you can protect and you can provide. Also, a dating tip. A lot of us are meeting people on social media, right? We're meeting people on apps. I think it's important for you ladies to always let somebody know where you are. So when I met him. I met him on an app, right? He would kill me if he knew I was. He don't got Instagram, y'all, so I could talk a lot. So, but I let my homegirl know. I said, this is his name. This is where he's from. This is the app I let him on. And I shared my location with her, right? So I think it's important that if you're meeting people like in social media or whatever, I don't care if you met that person at the Starbucks, you don't know. And I watched the first 30 minutes of Dahmer, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, and
Yes.
I was like, oh my God. Like, so just, you never know who's a psycho killer. So have people know your whereabouts. That's really important. Be creative with dates. Of course, we do the dinner and the movies, but start to get to know things that you really enjoy and spend quality time together. So if y'all know y'all both like music, don't be afraid to go to concerts, go to gun ranges, amusement parks. I think a good tip is like playing hooky from work together. That's good. Like if you be like, why don't you call out of work today? I call out of work today, and we just go sit in the park. Like just be creative and have fun with your dates. And I think too, like that my last important thing for dating is don't be afraid to pray about people. Like I ask God to show me people's hearts, and maybe that's why I said I haven't really had bad dating experiences, because everybody I pray at, I'm like, Lord, you show me, and if this person is not supposed to be in my life, get them out. So I think it's important to like ask God for like discernment on about people and to show you people's hearts and intentions. So those are my dating tips. What about you?
For me, major one is have fun and let loose. It's one in itself. Just have fun. Dating is not supposed to be about having pressure put on you. It's just about being yourself and just getting to know people as authentic as possible. So that's one. Two would be, like you said, do a little background check. For me, I do share my location with my friends, so I will let them know where I'm at. But if I get your first and last name, oh, I'm going to try my best to do a little background check. I'm sorry, I can't help it. Like, just because you never know what people's intentions are with you, you never know what they've done in the past, who they are, what they're, hey, you never know. So definitely do a little background check. Three, one of my tips would be trying to get away from restaurants and the dinner table. There's so many, like, there's $10 mini golf, there's movies, there's art exhibits that are free nowadays, just going to the park, ice skating, anything. I feel like the dinner table that's where the pressure really is sitting in, because like we're sitting right across from each other, you watching me eat, like it gets a little nerve-wracking. So that's one of my biggest tips, like get away from the dinner table, girl. Like go dance, go do something. My fourth tip is be okay if it doesn't end up working out. Dating is an experience and it's also a lesson. So if you guys go on a few dates and you realize, hey, oh, they're not for me, like maybe I just don't like their personality, or maybe I just don't see them fitting into my lifestyle, X, Y, and Z, be okay with that and don't be discouraged. Like just because you had one bad date or just didn't end up working out with one person doesn't mean it won't work out in the future. And my last one would be not make a list, but understand what you're looking for when you are pursuing these people. Don't just pursue them because they're pretty. Don't just pursue them because they're handsome. What are you looking for in a person? And once you guys start to text or talk and you get to know them, I wouldn't want to say make a pros and cons list or anything like that, but understand what you want and make sure that they're bringing it to the table.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I love it. In all your ways, and I love it. Let us know we are who you are. Amen. Let
Amen.
us let know folks who you are, because I'm telling you, these people could be creepy.
It's crazy out in the streets nowadays. Like it is, you
Okay.
can never be too safe.
Never be two-faced, and I'm like, by the grace of God. But I have definitely looked back. I'm like, God, that may not have been the smartest situation for you. But by the grace of God, you get yourself out. So I think safety is definitely most important, especially like I know most of our followers are ranging in the younger Gen Z generation, and I know that it's very prevalent to meet people on apps, on Instagram, on the dating apps. Please make sure that you are safe, somebody knows who you are, and you always got your money on you. Like, don't be you know what I'm saying? Like, if something happens at the end of the night, I always tell people, make sure you have enough money to get your tail home. That's it.
100%, because you don't want to have to rely on that person at
That's
all.
it.
Or
That's it.
even make sure you have money just in case they be talking about, I don't have my wallet or something crazy, or they just walk out of the date. Make sure you have your money set straight.
That's true, because I have heard those dating horror stories where people walk out on bills and then you stuck with the bill. Girl, at least if you stuck with the bill, enjoy it. While if he left, let me get another glass of wine.
Yeah, like let me get something else since he left.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, he left. All right, let me let me enjoy yourself. So that's definitely, and I love that idea, Isis, of staying away from from dinner. I like to eat, so I love a good dinner. But for me, it's like try to get as creative, especially if you're dating people over a period of time. Like the dinner thing kind of gets boring. So it's just like, what else do you know? Anybody who knows me knows I love music. Going to the concert to me is like, well, after that, I could go see Jesus because I'm happy. Like, so things that you know that are good to you. So yeah, this was good, Isis. Good
I
topic.
enjoyed this. I feel like I now can go into dating with a different perspective. So
Oh,
thank you.
look at you! Look at you! Okay, I'm proud of you. You getting out there, getting out right now. And you
All right.
21 now, so
I know. I can have a
you
little
can have
glass
a
of wine
cocktail
now.
now. All right.
All right. This
Okay,
was
and
so
even
great.
that's something that we ain't discussed. Even that, the alcohol, be careful on these dates. If some of you are drinking on a date, and I hate to do it, look, make sure that, you understand what I'm saying? Like, don't, especially if somebody's a stranger. I don't know, maybe because I just watched the Dahmer thing and he put things in people's drink. I was
Watch
like,
that cup. Watch that
watch
cup.
your cup. If you are on a date, especially with someone you don't know, someone you just get to know, watch someone pour stuff for you. Don't obviously take any red, green, yellow candy pills that they give you. And another thing that one of my girlfriends was telling me about the tissue. Did you hear about the tissue?
Yeah,
Now,
like people like are poisoning tissues and stuff. You just have to be extra careful
yeah. So it's
nowadays.
like, be aware of your surroundings on these dates with these people as you are getting to know them. Because, Lord, child, you don't know. The world is crazy. So just be careful.
Right. Yes,
Okay.
please.
All
Thank
right.
you all for all your comments, all your laughs, all your jokes, everything. This was so amazing. Thank you,
Mhm.
Maria.
Thank you, Isis. All right. Good
All right,
night.
y'all.